Hello again, everyone. This is Joe Hinches with Beyond the Chart, and this is technical analysis of the stock market today. Today is Wednesday, October 1st, 2014. We're going to take a look at the markets as we usually do, and then we're going to look at four Chinese stocks: QIHU 360, YOKU, YY, and AUTOHOME. All right, we've got the Dow daily chart here. The Dow was down 238 points. Yesterday it was down just a little bit, and then today we got the big leg down again. I think what really happened between the 26th, which was, when was the 26th? Friday? Yes. So Friday, Monday, Tuesday. We basically were doing a seesawing action in here, okay? And I actually don't think that this third little wave here, little I3, which is going to be down here, I don't think it's quite completed yet. I think it's getting close based on what I'm seeing during the day on like 30-minute charts. And therefore, if this one isn't quite complete, this one's not complete yet. So we need to complete this third, what I call little I bracketed wave down. Then we're going to get a fourth, probably sideways, kind of a flat, because this was like a zigzag pullback, okay? And then we're going to get another fifth one. So I think there's a really good chance that we're going to test right down over here at a minimum. We may come all the way down to my 233 day, but I think we're definitely testing the August lows because we get a lot of negativity in here. I know we had a big downdraft day here, but now we got two of them. This one, last Thursday, and then this one today. And we're not, when I look at the short-term trading index, we'll look at that in a minute. We're not at an extreme that might indicate a short-term bottom yet. So that's another thing I'm looking at. And, in this move in here, we did get 5 little waves down, which implies that that's the direction that we're in. We'll see if we continue to get 5 waves played out. Let's see. S&P 500 is breaking this trend line that we've got from back in April on the lows, between those two lows. Pardon my voice, my allergies are kicking up again. So we got to close below that trend line. And again, I do think we're going to come down here, at least trying to test 1910. What's the low? 1904.78, so 1905. I think there's a real good chance we're going to come down and test that. And I don't see any support between where we're at right now and that point, okay? And we take out that point, then we're going down to test the April low. I mean, we're just, you just stair step it down. New York Composite, a little bit weaker. We're already down here testing the August 7th low. And we actually broke below it. The low here is 557. The low here is, yes, we got below it by about 10, 11 points, but we did not close below it. So I'm looking for a close below this point. We get that, we might get that tomorrow morning or tomorrow. We get a close below this point, then I think this looks like a really nice double top. And, I kind of talked about this one before. And really, the main thing, it's not that they're too far apart. They need to be at least a month apart between these peaks, these tops in here. Sometimes we talk about a 10 to 15% dip between here and here, but really the time factor is more important. So right now, this is shaping up as a really nice looking double top. We get a close below this point, and it confirms that the top is in. And therefore, we can do a quick measurement from up here, 11,100 down to, where is it, almost 10,550. What are we looking at? That's 450, 500, another 550 points that could project down here. And where does that take us? Let me get my little, takes us down around 10,000. I mean, we would, yeah, I mean, we start doing that. We break the trend line. We probably get some support in here at 10,250 based on the March and April lows on the New York. But that'd be my first target, and then the January lows. So we'll just see step number one. We got to get a close below the August 7th low for that to continue on. Now, I don't have the NASDAQ data. It got corrupted for some reason in my file from my data provider. So we're going to go ahead and just look at the Russell 2000. Now, you notice how yesterday it just smashed right through this point right here, the August 1st low. So the Russell 2000 is smashed through the August 1st low. The New York Composite is right at it. And yes, the S&P 500 and the Dow are lagging, but I got a feeling they're going to catch up pretty quick. So, really nice break here, and then it's coming down, and literally it got within just, I was watching it this afternoon, the low 1083.0, the previous lows, intraday lows, 1082.53, 1082.72. So we are literally within fractions of a point of taking this out. It'll be interesting based on the momentum we've got and the negativity. We may have 5 waves in here. I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, kind of a sideways 4, 5 down. The real question is there any more power left in this 5-wave sequence, of which is not, it's not the total 5-wave sequence. It looks like maybe the 3rd wave down here. In this wave structure. Let me see if I can, what I'm talking about is I got a feeling that this was like 1, and then we got like a flat 2, and then we're doing a 3. And in this 3, we got 1, 2, 3, sideways here, 4, and then 5. The real question is 5 done? And then, since we had a little flat, we might get a pullback back up to this support and then go again. So we'll watch that and see if that's the way it plays out or not. But right now, I think the next thing on the radar is, does 1082 hold or not? Okay, the next one, I want to take a look at the Shanghai Index tonight. Daily on the Shanghai over the last 4 days, it did not trade today. It's pushed up slightly, but notice how the bars are getting a little bit tighter, a little smaller. A lot of times when you go from a big bar to smaller to smaller to smaller to smaller, you're getting ready to turn. Okay, you're running out of steam, and I wouldn't be surprised to see this turn back down. Some of it might be impacted by what's happening with the demonstrations in Hong Kong, etc. I don't know, and we'll just have to watch and see. I'm not changing the wave count in here. I haven't had any reason to change it. I'm just kind of sticking with it for now. I do have a weekly chart of the Shanghai, and this is through last Friday. And I showed this several weeks ago. It's been a while. So we're still in this downward trend line, downward channel, okay, that extends for quite a ways back, all the way back here to 2009. So we've been bouncing back and forth in between this channel. Now, I've seen some analysts think that this is nothing more than a corrective action and expecting it to break on down. It just doesn't look that way to me. I mean, we'll see. When you look at the entire history here of the Shanghai Index, I don't know. I just don't see that this is, just by the way this looks, it looks like, maybe it's done an A, B, and it's trying to do some kind of C, and then now we're getting ready to try to rally and break on out of this channel. I mean, that's kind of the feeling I'm getting. We had a pretty strong move. Remember when we talked about this with the volume? I mean, look at this volume that came in on this move. And so I'm looking to see, and so where would this be breaking 2400 and then going up now? Then it starts to, you start to look to see, okay, where does it start to run into resistance up in here where previous selling came in? But right now, that's the way that looks. Let's take a look at our indicators for today. Short-term trading index. Okay, we had one reading. See this right up in here, the reading on the 25th, which was Thursday when we had that big down day. So 2.19. Well, we didn't even get that severe a reading today. And our 10-day is creeping up. But notice how when we finally, now in July, when we bottomed here in August, we weren't even close to any kind of extreme reading on that bottom. Back in January, February, when we bottomed, notice how we got this extreme reading on the trend, the short-term trading index trend, same thing. Everybody calls them different. They call it the ARM index, the trend index, the short-term trading. 3.29 on a close reading. That's pretty extreme. And notice how the 10-day moving average of it got to 1.61, up above this 1.5, the green line. Okay, so that's what I'm going to be watching for and trying to tie that into the wave count that I'm looking at as we head on down. Now, here's the VIX. Remember I talked about it? I drew this line, several days ago, maybe Saturday or last week sometime. And now we're up here bouncing off this at 17.5. We continue to get a push up and we break through this line. I got a feeling we're going to get some extreme selling and at least come up here and test 21.5. So let's watch that. We start to get a break intraday. We started to get it today. I saw it. What was the high? 17.56. So let's keep an eye on that. And then the high-low index. Yes, we did get some extreme new lows today. So notice how this, remember how I talked about it stalling out down here, refused to budge and rally, and then look at this, it's like the other shoe dropped. And so now we're starting to approach the low of December of last year. And we're not even close to the extreme, just back even to August 19th in terms of new highs, new lows. So there's plenty of room. When you look at the VIX, you look at the short-term trading index, you look at this, there's plenty of room for more intense selling to occur before this thing bottoms on a short-term basis. So there's, I'm not trying to, all I'm doing is reading the tea leaves. So let's see. Okay, I think that's in for the indicators. Oh, I looked at the CBOE equity put to call, not getting an extreme reading there. So I'll continue to monitor that. Got a feeling the short-term trading index is going to give us a reading before the put to call ratio does. All right, let's take a look at QIHU 360. This is in dive mode. Man, do I wish I had, I shied away from this because the average 2 range was almost 4. But oh my gosh, if you had puts on this thing, and it just, of course, it's always, it's great to play Monday morning quarterback and shoulda, coulda, woulda. But this is, I was negative on this. If you go back and watch any of my reviews over, in August, and where I talked about, I thought this was going to break down. I didn't like the overlapping action, and then it broke this trend line. And then it, there for a while, this didn't quite look like the symmetry. Get this off, the symmetry of a head and shoulders. But now when you have this really strong horizontal trend line in here, I mean, this looks like a pretty nice looking head and shoulders. Granted, the right shoulder is a little stronger and higher, but now it's broken through here, and here's the projection down here. Okay, so back in here, when you're up here at 85, 90, you go, really? If you break this, could it really go down to 44, 45? I wonder what you think now when this thing closed at 63.89 today. I mean, this thing can really move. Let's look at, when you back this off, it now even more so looks like a top, doesn't it? Just almost a beautiful shoulder, breaking the neckline, breaking down. Now, the other thing I was going to point out here on QIHU is look how low the RSI is. I mean, the RSI is at 7.63. I don't even know when's the last time I saw below 10 on almost anything on an RSI. So this is a really, really extreme reading. Now, you don't, just because you get an extreme reading, you don't go, oh, I'm going to buy because it's going to bounce. Well, you could have said that at any day back in here because it's been extreme for a while. It's been below 20. Let me get my deal in here. Let's draw, here's 20. It's been below 20 for 2, 4, 6, 8 days. Okay, that's like saying up here, oh, it's over 80, so it's overbought. I'm going to sell it. I'm going to sell it. What you need to realize is on the RSI, when you get an extreme reading, okay, a lot of times it's an indication that it's telling you that it's confirming that direction. Okay, like it's a kickoff of a strong movement into that direction. Now, should we get a bounce? Yeah, I would like to think that we're probably going to get a bounce or something in here, but it's really hard to time that. So anyway, this is the picture on QIHU 360, and it looks pretty negative. Although I wouldn't be surprised to see a bounce, but it's in a pretty solid downtrend right now. Okay, YOKU 2. YOKU's breaking down. We're in this triangle here. It almost looks like a descending triangle, but this isn't super horizontal. It's close. And so just using the regular triangular method here, parallel line to this, projecting down, this is where I would have a projection for the move on this. So, I mean, it does look like it's just, starting to continue the downward move. I tried to look at a wave count on this thing, and then I just took it off. I've had one, and I just said I took it off because I just it's just too choppy and didn't feel comfortable with it, and I'm not quite sure because I thought maybe there was a good reason that it was going to bottom right in here, and now it's continued to come on down like everything else. Things are starting to show that they're going to correct a lot more than I think most of us thought that they might. Let's look at AUTOHOME. I haven't looked at that in a long time. This is all the trading on AUTOHOME. The average 50-day volume is 1.3 million, 1.4 million, so it's fairly actively traded. Again, it looks like it's bouncing around a little bit. I'm not seeing a solid. I mean, this looks like some kind of three-way move in here, 3 waves, not 5. Okay, so I'm not sure what this thing is actually doing. Right now, it's clearly trending to the downside. The 50 days up. I don't think I even have 233 days worth of activity. DI minus is clearly above DI plus. The demand index is negative. The RSI, it's not really showing anything other than this little M top in here, and it's in this less than 50. If you look at support and resistance, where would I'd look to see, maybe in here because across these tops, but this actually came all the way down into here. So it's kind of hard to tell. And again, when I'm not really sure where this thing is going or what it's doing, it's kind of hard to take a position other than, we may have some kind of, this may be some kind of like maybe the first wave is here and this is some kind of complex wave 2 and this is a 3 and this is a 4. I mean, that's a possibility, but you need to see this start to turn and moving averages start to cross that we're going to get another wave to the upside. So I just, I thought I'd go ahead and look at AUTOHOME, no particular reason. Let's take a look at YY. And that's the last one we'll look at. I think YY, let's back it off. This is 5 waves up, I think, up in here, primary wave 1. Now, we did get about a 50% correction back. And again, this is semi-log, so it's a little deceiving. But point-wise, this is actually 50% of this entire move. And just so you can see that, I will take off semi-log and show you how that looks. And so now all of a sudden, this looks like a much more severe correction. And, and so now I think, this is the first an A. I think this is B, coming back up here near the top of A and went slightly beyond it. And we're further correcting down now. I mean, there's always the possibility this is kind of some kind of 5 wave. I don't know. It just doesn't, especially when I put it on semi-log, it doesn't seem to be looking or acting like it. So But short-term wise, if you're looking at this, I mean, we're not getting any divergence in here. I think I saw that earlier. So if you start to think, well, maybe it's going to turn, we'll buy it. But there's no, I'm not seeing any bullish divergence that's occurring on the indicators. Nothing solid to say that this might be stopping. Okay, so we're in a short-term downtrend. The next potential support is down here at somewhere between 67, 68. Currently closed today 72 and 0.77. So we'll have to we'll check on this periodically and see how it's doing. All right, that's the 4 Chinese stocks for tonight. I'll be back on Saturday, and we'll take a look at the market, see where we're going. I think we still got some little more severe selling to at least get a short-term bottom in here before we get a major bounce. And we'll continue to watch the wave count, and we'll kind of go from there. This has been Joe for Beyond the Chart. If you felt like this was helpful, please share it on social media. And if you're not a subscriber, subscribe. Just first name and email. Just click this little red box here on the screen, and you'll be good to go. And we will be back with you on Saturday. Have a great Thursday, Friday, everyone.